is locked in. Dig said they don't focus on that duo lane, so we'll lock them in and see what they can counter with in the last 3
Well,
games.
for saying they don't focus on the duo lane, that is a very, very powerful duo lane to lock in.
Call that into question.
This is definitely one of the preferred duos for the bottom lane. So setting up Kiwi Kid and I'm a Cutie Pie already with a fairly strong lane. And we'll see if they do end up having to do lane swaps. Also works pretty well against the 2 versus 1.
A very slow pick and ban phase. A lot of pros actually in some of these say don't be afraid to try things in game 1 since there is such a series. Feel out the team you're playing against.
So one thing is that that they're trying now is Nami for Kiwi Kid. Haven't seen as much of that from Kiwi Kid.
That's true.
And Nami is very squishy. Usually Kiwi Kid likes those champions like Braum, where he's very tanky, and when he roams around, if he's caught out of position, then he has escapes, and he can soak up a lot of damage. Nami is very unforgiving if you are out of position. Very squishy mage champion here for Kiwi Kid on support. And as we see on the other side, lucking in that Braum to counter the ultimate from Nami. Braum will be able to soak up that tidal wave.
An unfortunate thing, but it always feels good when you're on the Braum side.
It does. It still will slow down Braum. So if you're trying to catch anyone on the other team, then it still works.
Get the big guy with his dash.
And it also still works as a decent disengage. So we'll have to see how the rest of Dig's comp shape up. But CLG, very good dive so far.
Yeah.
Their front line, Braum comboed with Maokai. Anytime you have that, very strong dive to jump in. And Maokai, when he jumps in with Braum, they actually have extra protection for Kha'Zix.
Holy mackerel, Kobe. I was going to mention this a little bit before. As we were talking in the green room, Dignitas had some 8 or 9 Barons coming up in their matchup in the quarterfinals. Look at this objective team they've just created. A tidal wave if they need to get in or out. The curse of the sad mummy as well. This is a team to fight.
So they do, once again, go back to their Nasus for the split push.
Yeah.
This is very interesting because they did not do it second time versus CSM. I do like it in this case. Will be strong against Maokai. We'll have to see if CLG try and get anyone else strong enough to try and meet him.
Yeah.
But really, what people are wanting to talk about is Amumu. I'm so glad he's made it back into competitive here. Crumbs, like we said, Crumbs is one of the junglers in the North American LCS that has the most diverse champion pool. And he's very, very fine with playing many of these considered second-tier junglers. He never really got hung up on the top 3 plateau of those junglers. And bringing in Amumu here, great team fight presence, great AoE here, and it can lock down many of these melee carries that jump in on Kog'Maw and give Kog'Maw a little bit of breathing room along with the tidal wave.
Definitely be able to get in those fights and stand toe-to-toe with a Braum and a Maokai when it comes to it with Shifter, who picked up Nasus for Zion, split pushing the lanes. What an awesome composition so far. As always, Shifter gets his pick for last as he's going to be facing Lynx Syndra. Definitely a bully in the lane.
Syndra was a really big part of the quarterfinals
she was.
in both of them, actually. The long-range stun was great for picking people off. We'll see if Link is actually able to do that. Link hasn't been roaming as often as many of the other mid laners. We'll see how he can set up the vision around mid lane to see if they can get any of those picks.
All right. Dignitas fighting for 5th along with CLG in this one. Nobody wants to go to the Promo Rel tournament. And right now at the end of the season, it's crazy to see it's these 2 teams. Seasons from seasons have changed so much, Kobe. The caliber of play has become so much better in the NALCS. And right now, these guys striving to make their mark to get into the 5th place. Dexter on the Kha'Zix, going to be trying to make early impact plays, but you can still see the ganks from Amumu. He's not a level 6 have to be.
And you can see, I like what Dignitas have done here. They've got the split pushing Nasus, but they also have a very good defensive 4-man squad.
Right.
Amumu doesn't always have to be the initiator to jump in. He's also very good at peeling. You can use the ult defensively. If you have Amumu ult plus the tidal wave, it sets up for a very easy shockwave. And if this CLG squad try and force on the 4-man crew of Dig that are away from Nasus, then Dignitas have plenty of disengages.
Lots of hugs to give on that one. All right, everyone, before this series gets underway, we're going to head over, check LOLesports.com as usual, and see what the vote is. Right now, 53% of you very close are tipping this one in Dig's favor.
If you feel that the momentum shifts at any point throughout our games, update your vote by tweeting the hashtag either CLGWin or DIGWin to @LOLesports.
All right, so Dig on the red side, no stranger to giving up the 2v1 dragon control and putting Kiwi Kid up the top lane and then leaving, or I'm sorry, Cutie Pie in the top lane and then Kiwi Kid down with Zion Spartan in the bottom. They kind of started bringing out that support top that allowed more dragon control. We'll see if they do it again here. CLG coming out of blue. Dig coming out of the red side. Let's get this playoff match underway.
See if we get any early vision down here. Doesn't immediately look like lane swaps will occur.
Yeah, not for now. They're going to want the duo. Double this up, whether we get the duo or not. Take them down.
If they do go standard lanes here, Maokai's not really a lane bully, and he will not be able to push Zion out. So Zion will be happily stacking up his siphoning strike at the beginning. Kiwi Kid getting a little extra money there in the early game. Every 5 gold counts.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
30 seconds until minions.
Crumb's not running the vision game at all this time, as we wouldn't think he is. Sometimes grabs a ward, goes for the early sweep.
Ooh, that's actually a pretty good point, because Amumu is one of these champions that does have the option to build either the AP starting jungle item or the coat. And if you do start out with a quill coat, then you get early wards. So Crumb still could have that early vision game if he goes tanky Amumu for the quill coat. A very popular build, mostly in solo queue, is the AP Amumu, though, which does a surprising amount of damage.
Hey, if you're ahead of the game, it works really well, but he can fall behind quite quick.
Well, the other thing that I do like about the AP Amumu build with the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith is that his sustain is very, very strong. It's better than the Quill Coat, so you get more HP back in the jungle. You don't necessarily have a higher HP maximum pool, but you sustain much better if you stay out there a while. All right, blue side invade on the blue buff here for CLG. 3-man squad push him out without the jungler. This is going to be a 3-buff start here for CLG if they can get the last hit.
That'll be ridiculously huge, especially against Amumu. Kiwi Kid trying to do what he can. That goes over to Double Lift, actually, to start the duo lane that's now going to match up. He'll be spitting out spells as Pastor Lucian.
Yeah, Lucian already very strong in lane. Now with the double buff, that will be great news for Double Lift and Afromu. Also, they didn't miss out on too many lane minions. Double Lift also got the hit on the last blue buff, so he gets the money and the experience. And Cutie Pie and Kiwi Kid also roamed up to check the blue. So they didn't get a lot of that extra lane experience. It's also going to shut down Crumbs. Amumu, very blue-dependent jungler. You can see he's already dry.
Look at that. Also, a ward very fast for Seraph in the top lane, and his teleport is used to try and shut down Crumbs if he tries to get out of the jungle. That looks like a painful jungle star right there. We'll see what he can do. It hasn't stopped Crumbs before from doing some big things, even when his buffs were stolen by a Blitzcrank of Daydreaming. Remember those games. You're still able to come back strong.
Yeah, very good opening here for CLG. Able to sort of mind game Dig. Maybe Dignitas thought it was going to be a lane swap situation.
And this is good on CLG, Kobe. I thought it was going to be Dig that would try to kind of go off the cuff here, but good moves by CLG.
Let's see what they can do with this, because anytime you get a Amumu without a blue buff, you can continue to punish him very, very easily. Amumu's a poor duelist. Kha'Zix is an extremely strong duelist. So I would expect Dexter never to leave this side of the jungle. He can set up camp here, get wards down in the bushes, as well as counter jungle everything that he wants. You can see even Seraph is lending a hand here. They know they have Crumbs on the ropes, and they don't want to let him get any experience to get back in the game.
No way. This is a painful start. CLG is just putting down the stranglehold right now and continuing. That ward from Seraph really able to help Dexter get in the right spot and continue the invade, like you said.
But because Dexter had his smite used on the Wraiths, he didn't have it to steal away double golems. And Crumbs gets a little help there, able to get that one away and catches him right back up. So not as big of a discrepancy between the junglers as there could have been.
This is going to be big, though. Shifter knows he can't go too hard against the lane bully. He'll be able to shield some off. 26-17, already in double list blue buff on the bottom lane duo. Everything in the early game playing in favor of CLG here.
Yeah, and the way this is also going to affect all the lanes too. Anytime you can get the jungler behind like this, it frees up CLG lanes to play so much more aggressively. Link, you can see here, definitely pressing this Syndra advantage. See if Crumbs decides to try and answer, because Link right now wards the opposite side.
Crumbs was able to get the stone, so there's a bit of sustain there. Still going to take a lot of hit in the jungle, but he's trying to get vision out, which is also important.
So that right there, it's already signaled. He's not going to go with the Quill Coat. He's going to go with the more sustain-heavy Spirit of the Spectral Wraith build. Will be more squishy, but they already will get a lot of tankiness from Zion Spartan in the late game, plus Shifter's shield with the ball will be able to help out. Interesting choice here. We'll see how it works out. Dexter going for the second invade on the bottom side, but he's too late here. A little bit miscalculation. The timing's there, not quite on for his tracking of Crumbs.
Well, that works pretty well for Crumbs. It's kind of an edge that he needed. It's not going to be huge, Kobe, but a little bit helps.
Yeah, that's one of the, so it's one of the skills for a jungler that's most important is being able to
change your path
predict where the other jungler is going to go. You take what little information you have and try and extrapolate it. Since he did chase Crumbs off the top side, probably expect that he would go to the blue side next. But good ward, defensive ward here by Dignitas. We'll be able to see Dexter, and Dexter wastes a decent amount of time.
Quickly putting those wards behind. Crumbs is saying right now, everybody just play it safe. Don't try to do anything too crazy unless they come to us. That looks like what's happening right here. That's the lockdown. Link still has flash. But wait, oh, he gets the lockdown. It goes to Shifter. They pick up first blood on Link.
Great play by Crumbs on the opposite side of the map from Dexter. Comes right in through where the ward expired that Link just placed. It was just a trinket ward. Only lasts for 1 minute. And Crumbs gets right in there for a great gank. First blood. Catches him right up.
Yeah. Not really hesitating on his power to go for ganks on that. Crumbs keeps it strong and true. Keeps the calls coming for the team to get first blood. Not too much of a gold lead there. We still have dragons to be messing with in this early part of the game. We'll see what happens. Very quickly used level 6 by Shifter in the mid lane. So they may try to go back onto him there.
Yeah, anytime you do start talking about these earlier dragons, it's all about the condition of the mid lane and the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Since mid lane was just killed for CLG, it does take away a bit of their momentum, but bottom lane has been pushing in this entire time. Double lift and Afromu.
Ooh.
Pretty strong lead here.
Oh, man. Trying to hook up Double Lift with some kills in the bottom lane. They could be getting this one on the Kiwi Kid. Double Lift trying to get some shots on an Ardent Blaze to give him passive movement speed.
Whoa,
Zion! Get there in time. Zion Spartan taking the late teleport train to the bottom lane. I don't think he wanted to do that. And CLG pick up a bit of ground for a lot of work, though. Shifter still in mid.
So CLG commit all 5 people, and Zion does not cancel that teleport there. Great job. CLG do answer, and they gives them control of the bomb side, but they took so much damage from the turret there because it was a long drawn out gank down bottom that they aren't able to answer any objective. So it's only 1 kill. However, both teleports were used.
Yeah.
So no big disadvantage from the top lane that will affect this upcoming dragon.
Man, that would be happy days.
Dignitas moving right in.
He'd be farming in the top lane if he could, but look at this dig. Coming out with the right time, then CLG's on the back, as you're saying. We're going to go ahead and pick up the dragon. So that goes around 8:35 for them. Very nicely done. And Dignitas is now going to have the timer. Remember, it used to be Dig's crutch in late game for objectives for those Barons. This is how they've been winning the games, and they start off with the first dragon here to get that going.
Yeah, well, what happened was CLG were committing their 5 members down there. So commit all their resources to bottom lane on the hunch that after this kill that they're going to get bottom, they would be able to get dragon. But because it took so long and they took so much damage in the process, it actually worked against them. And Dignitas are able to take the objective. So Dignitas come out ahead in that move, even though it was CLG to start it out. They took too much damage in the process, not able to get the objective after the kill. And the objective, that early dragon gold, is the most important part of the early move bottom.
Continuing to ward. Kiwi Kid gets seen, so he does a little dance for Afromu there. And they go back to normal. So pink wards, the security, Afromu feels like they can cover that, and they can cover it behind the dragon pit towards the red. I don't think we'll see Crumbs doing any invading with the team anytime soon. So they're trying to set up permanent defense now. Doing good so far. We see that big rotation from CLG. Very reminiscent of past play as they get their first kill in the bottom lane and see if they can keep that going.
Yeah, so far, Dignitas have been doing a very good job playing reactively. Crumbs, even though he got off to a very bad start due to the invades, he made up for it with a reactive gank on the other side, opposite side of the map, And then with the reactive Dragon Call there, after CLG spent everything bottom, Dignitas were able to come and clean up. So good cleanup so far here from Crumbs and the Dignitas squad. Seraph has been doing a good job up top. You can see there's a lot of ward coverage in the red side jungle, and he's shoving Zion in, and then he's getting a lot of pressure on this red side Dignitas jungle. We'll see if CLG actually try and run any plays off that top side, go for another respawn of that red buff. But Seraph has definitely got plenty of vision to back up anything that he wants to try up there, if he wants to try and deny some stacks.
I don't know if they're going to take down Aftermoo here. Everything's really working in CLG's favor in the bottom lane. Dexter, very strong. Double lift, 40 CS up, and he almost gets the last calling shot. It's just too little. There's the tidal wave coming out. Double lift rides the wave, but it looks like they will pick up kills here. Such an elongated fight, and CLG has taken hardly any damage. It was just double lift in the 1v1. Crumbs is going to go down. They give that to Dexter to give him some beef. He'll be good to go for this one. Beautiful job in the bottom lane once again.
So another kill down bottom. They aren't able to get Dragon, but it'll give them a lot of turret pressure.
Yeah.
And Double Lift and Aftermoo already had such a huge lead in this lane that Lucian is going to be a very big problem pretty early on. Double Lift is going with that early Infinity Run.
Oh, man. Shifter gets hit. The Arcane Smash goes down. Is it going to be enough? No, it will not. Oh, he picks up the kill onto Seraph and makes it look easy.
CLG taking the initiative once again, and Dignitas with another reactive cleanup play here. Shifter taking the kill on Seraph.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. That one was gift wrap, but the attempts coming in from CLG trying to put themselves ahead. We'll see if they slow down on this one. Double bubble, but no trouble there. And the turret very low in that bottom lane. CLG still getting a lot of farm onto double lift. He's the only one, I guess I should say now with Link, over 100. So these guys could be a very big problem, even for this guy right here in the top lane, who's just having the time of his life.
Zion Spartan gets some good damage onto that turret. This is definitely a preview for what will happen later in the game as well.
We should just record that and play it over and over again.
As of right now, he's got 147 stacks at 12 minutes in because it was a standard lane and it's a Maokai lane. So
all that
you would expect him to start stacking up very quickly here, and he's done a decent job of it.
I like it. Obviously, Dexter going for the Spectral or the Wraith on his side. And the Spectral on the side of Crumbs, so we're getting a lot of damage coming out of these junglers. They both hit 6 as well, but we haven't seen the gloriousness of what their ults bring just yet. Crumbs' jungle, a little bit of pressure relieved there, so he's getting what he wants when he wants it, and their timings are now their own. CLG has relieved a bit of pressure, but I feel like they kind of started the game off the way they wanted to.
They definitely did have that bottom lane focus that people always talk about with CLG. And Double Lift has his lead that is usually expected in this matchup and seen in this matchup between these two teams. See what he's able to do with it, though, because as we said, he is going for that Infinity Edge build. Looks like he's also already getting some crit pieces for a Static Shiv. Or maybe a Phantom Dancer, but probably the Static Shiv Infinity Edge combo for him.
Right.
He also is doing a good job here down by himself, opening up Afromoo to start roaming around. Afromoo trying to lend a hand in the vision game. Get ready for this dragon. 1 minute ahead already for the dragon. Crumbs and Dexter with the standoff.
It's going to be close. Both of these are finished in mid, but you're definitely seeing that ultimate power come out of Link. Shifter's had the right moves, though, dodging skill shots and making it work. Very, very interesting mid lane going down. 130 to 118 overall in that one, even with 2 kills to Shifter. So great job by Link to stick in it.
Blue buff is very important for this dragon fight. 30 seconds left, and CLG are not already giving their blue buff over to Link. This might cost them, because 25 seconds already for the dragon. The thing is, Dignitas, they don't have secured vision around dragon. And they don't have any vision on the blue side, so they won't see.
Oh, that's a big dog.
If he kills the top laner, though, then they can teleport down and definitely be Dragon. Zion, though, he's chunking out Seraph right before this Dragon spawns. That could signal that Dignitas want to pull one of those plays. Can he stop the back?
Oh, he gets to him. He knows he has to keep going. So this is Dignitas. You can see Crumbs trying to set up some wards.
They have a small opening.
Zion Spartans, he is just eating turret shots. That's a feel good. So Seraph is back. Does he hold it and walk back to lane? It doesn't look like CLG is actually making any move towards the mid, so he's going to soak up this wave that now gets crushing in. A bit of the map is opened up, which means vision is also denied with that turret down. We'll We'll see how Zion Spartan keeps the split push going.
So Zion,
should be too different.
He gets the turret.
Good answer.
CLG answered down bottom because their bottom lane much stronger. But that will probably deter Dignitas from going for that dragon because Seraph got enough time to actually heal in the fountain. So even though the tower was down, he could have answered teleports, and he definitely could have turned that team fight around. Meanwhile, CLG's bottom lane still very much ahead of the Dig duo.
They are battering down on that. Now 60 CS up for double lift here. Definitely getting a good focus on it. He's probably got some items to be finished as CLG sets up the defense around Dragon.
So double lift and Afro move. The investment bottom lane for CLG does pay off.
Yeah.
They get the Dragon second time around.
I remember at the end of last split, Double Lift was definitely on the Lucian train. He said, no, it's not that much. Yeah, then he realized. So coming out working well for him here. Hasn't picked up any kills yet, but the team, like you said, focusing him for that. Shifter hasn't found too much pressure in mid. They said, you know what? Everything's coming up daisies for him. Let's not go there anymore, even if we try a 2v1. So CLG is definitely adapting to what's working and what's not instantly in this game. Both teams still pretty even, though, with that said.
Yeah, and speaking of double lift on the Lucian, Lucian does not have the problem going early Infinity Edge that a lot of the other AD carries do, because he scales so well with flat AD. That's why people used to use the Bloodthirster first build. Getting a lot of the flat AD of the early BF sword doesn't hurt Lucian at all. Whereas someone like Kog'Maw and Tristana, they don't have as much AD scaling in their kit for their abilities, and it would take them a lot longer. So Lucian already with the Infinity Edge finished here, and the Brawler's Glove ready for his Static Shiv.
We'll see how CLG decides to use this. They can easily pressure a lot of fights and get those crits to pay dividends. Right now they're going to play it safe. Shockwave and a Curse of the Sad Mummy can still change a lot, and it looks like CLG has definitely repaired a bit of what happened in their previous games, playing a lot more consistent just in their movements and being in the right spot at the right time here. Ooh, the good dodge there. Curse of the Sad Mummy, Shockwave, no. A quick flash from Blink comes out there, so a bit of pressure could be utilized for a Dragon.
Let's see what's answered here from CLG, because they've committed their jungler bottom side. Once again, Crumbs went mid, Dexter now bottom. They're pushing hard for a second turret here. Mid lane is up to Seraph for the wave clear, though.
I like this. CLG really pushing harder than Zion Spartan would be able to, and they're saying your split push is going to be better than our rotational split push here. Right now pushed off a little bit, but they've warmed that turret up nicely to be on an inhibitor quite soon, and possible Baron pressure, especially with Double Lift having so much damage earlier.
Once we move into this phase of the game, though, it's very hard for a Maokai to do anything against Nasus split pushing. He already has the Sheen. That's pretty much all that he needs to be able to win trades with Seraph. So it's going to be interesting how CLG deal with the split push. As of right now, they are not trying to deal with it. They're just having Seraph at the turret to stall Zion. He can't just ignore Seraph yet. He's not at the point where he can take turrets while ignoring the Maokai. And so they're doing a good job pressuring the other side of the map where CLG do have the upper hand. They're playing to their strengths here and running plays off of Double Lift.
As long as they keep tabs on Zion, he ended the game completely by himself in those quarterfinals. I'm sure they don't want that to happen. Great job by CLG. 1, 2, pretty much 3 turrets as they had the focus on them. No pausing in between. And they come out 2,000 gold ahead there. PewDiePie still trying to do what he can in the bottom lane to catch up. 50 CS behind right now, but can still be a late game Kog'Maw if he gets those items.
So the thing is,
far behind.
Whoa, he's getting roamed on right now. He doesn't have vision here.
Oh, man. That's what you got to do when you need every last drop. You put yourself in a bad situation. There's one hit. The concussive blows will lock down PewDiePie. The Cathian surprise coming up on nothing, and Double Lift starts to get fed on a silver platter.
Yeah, rough there for PewDiePie. He did already have enough money to complete his Trinity Force. Now we'll see how CLG actually deal with this, because that is, even though he's really far behind, it's a very big break point for Kog'Maw once he does finish his Trinity Force plus boots. So it's up to Dignitas to try and use this now and get that 4-man squad to at least hold their own. Because their split pusher is stronger, but their 4-man is actually weaker at this point.
Yeah. Minute 50 on Dragon. Good wards by Dignitas. Crumb's really helping to keep that up with the rest of the team. He's going for an Aegis. Locked this down pretty much every game in the spring split for the locket of the Iron Solari. So Be very good to kind of shut down a bit of scatter the weak and damage that are coming in from the assassinations of Dexter. Very good foresight there.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick here by Crumbs because he's going to be very squishy. He's gone with the Spirit of the Spectral Race. Now he's actually getting converged on.
Oh my, good flash there, but a flash is a flash, and CLG can still utilize that 5-minute pressure.
And that flash is extremely important. Crumbs on a squishy Amumu really needs to be able to use his flash because he can't take a lot of damage trying to get into a team fight. Now he has to have a perfect bandage toss if he wants to engage one of the fights. So probably we'll see Crumbs and the Dig 4 squad play defensively like we thought and use it for disengage. Because right now, not only did he go for the sustain build in the jungle with the Spectral Wraith, but he didn't follow it up with more AP damage. Yeah. So he's going to be himself fairly squishy, but he will add that magic resist aura for the rest of the team to help them out with Shifter's damage, which is going to be a problem for Fog of War.
Oh boy, nobody really gets scattered on that one. Just hit. Able to get out nice and safely, but CLG making moves. They're looking to make things happen for themselves. They're not saying let's have Dig make a mistake. They say let's create those mistakes for Dig. Force them into it.
Well, the big thing is that they scared him away from this Baron pit. They've got vision control of it, and they're doing it right now. After trying to hold down it by himself. Crumbs jungle alarm is going off here.
That's what I was saying, man. They got that bottom turret warmed it up. Will they have enough time? Crumbs hooks in. He does have Curse of the Sad Bunny. He locks it down. No smite to be used there. Seraph gets hit up as well. Cutie Pie pulls in that kill for himself. A Shockwave just grabs Afro move, but there's not much movement, and it doesn't disengage anything. CLG still on the run here, and they grab the first Baron of the game, 21-30.
So they're able to kill the jungler. They're also able to utilize Seraph up top, which means that it's going to cost them turrets down bottom. Zion already able to chunk out these turrets extremely quickly.
Good answer.
He's up to 309 stacks on Siphoning Strike.
We haven't seen him pop anybody yet. We have Dragon going over to Dig, so they're closing that gold gap a little bit. Now 1,000. We're about 2,000. Dexter taking down a turret and making sure they stay on the top here. Great job by CLG to keep things in their favor. Dignitas to answer when they're getting hit on here. They're doing a great job. This split push, though, definitely more calculatedly stopped, if you could say that is not a word, but by CLG.
When you do go with the strategy CLG are doing, you have to be very decisive. As you said, they're not going to try and fight the split push. They're going to try and out-trade the split push. They did come up with the play this time around because of their vision control around Baron. So they out-traded it by trading just one turret for that Baron buff. So again, they're not trying to fight it. They're trying to out-move Dignitas across the map, which classically has been the way that they got their strong record against Dig. Now the question is, though, what do they do with this Baron buff? Because it's not just the global gold of a Baron. In the mid-game, it's all about the stats that they get from this buff and the hard push that they need to go and do with it.
And even if Zion comes to fight with these guys, the Spirit Fire is not going to be clearing siege or clearing waves, so you have no protection there really once CLG gets to the turrets. Double lift on the backside. The cooldown already. He's get those passive shots out on the turrets. No Triforce, so they might go through a little slow, but they'll be able to take down turrets. No problem.
Yeah, right now, it's just Shifter and Cutie Pie trying to wave clear. And CLG, they have the opportunity to kill people under the turret without fully committing to a dive. Because they have Syndra, who can have set up kills under turret very, very easily and quickly burst down a target.
This could be big.
Coming in.
Oh, he gets him! He gets him on the Relentless Pursuit, but can he use Curse of the Sad Mummy before he goes down? That squishiness coming into play. A beautiful flash from Link there on the Shockwave, and Shifter will be taken down. CLG is ignoring turrets, and they are dropping Dignitas.
There's that hard push. CLG did not hesitate. They run straight up to the turrets, shove their lead, and Dignitas try and come in with a flank from Crumbs. He had a great angle on double lift, but it sort of baited him in because the team was not ready to follow up. And as we said, very squishy Amumu build here. Gets taken down very, very quickly. Zion Spartan left the only man with not many options. Looks like he's going back over to try and split push.
And CLG keeps reiterating that point for themselves. No hesitation. And it leaves Zion Spartan to pretty much be running across the map instead of solid farming these lanes. He definitely missed a lot there trying to run back and forth, but still getting something back as it usually does for the team. However, it's only so small now. They're definitely falling farther and farther behind 25 minutes in.
Yeah, Dignitas looked like they got a little antsy there. Because Crumbs had a good angle and he saw the shot. even though you have the perfect shot, you don't always want to take it. Because CLG, with the Baron buff, the stats that it gives in mid-game worth so much. They are really far ahead. You need this whole combo to work. The combo that we talked about with the four-man squad of Amumu, Orianna, and Nami all have to be hit right after each other. But they weren't ready. And definitely CLG, huge bonus for them to pick up and crack through the inhibitor turret line.
Very nicely done. Pink wards all across the board for CLG. They know what they just got a hold of, and they want to now deny the map from Dignitas. If they're able to secure those pink wards down and hold them, it's going to be a hell of a day for Dig here to come back in game one. CLG on a steady roll down the tracks right now for a first game win. Dig's still in this. Baron has come to their rescue this season more than not.
We will see how Dignitas can now control the vision in their own side of the map. It's all about the defensive vision now for Dig, because they still have the damage to kill someone if they're able to catch them out. But they have to be able to be sure that they have the position on CLG. CLG aren't giving them the time.
It'd be a little tough.
Sweeping and pink warding this red side as they swing up to the top. Very good control here from CLG.
Yeah.
There's the damage though. Dexter gets poked out.
Dignitas does concede those outer turrets, but like you said, that damage, now they have to present themselves at the front of the turret. A good shockwave into a Curse of the Sad Mummy could be the thing they need to get this turned around. Dexter's really not the one picking up too many assassination kills. It's Doublelift who's going to be on the back line, so it's up to Zion Spartan or whoever can make the lasting fight work for them.
He has very little to spend on wards, though. So because Dig,
that's true.
Because Dig want to control the vision in their own side of the jungle for CLG's aggressive moves, it makes it very hard for Zion Spartan to split push because he has to extend extremely far down, and they have no vision and no control over where any of the CLG members are going. There's no way for Dignitas to force CLG anywhere but to deal with Zion Spartan. So right now, split push is not an option. The only way that you really do gain things with split push is when you have a threat somewhere else. If you can threaten around Baron or a tower somewhere else, that's the only way that Zion can actually commit down there. As of right now, there's no other pressure for Dig on the map, and he has to stop.
They have to get that Baron up. Top wave to be cleared, so Zion might just be in the role for that. They're going to leave that for him, maybe. Cutie Pie's not taking it. But so far, it'll stay where it is in that top lane. CLG may actually work off of that. They say, let's see if they'll go for the wave. We'll see if they'll try to clear for Baron. Very tricky plays. This is what I like about the CLG play this game. They're letting Dig come to them. They've cleared the map so much that they can actually stand still. That's not something you see all the time. And Dig is considering it. They say, we don't have enough vision, and nobody's roaming or farming any lanes but Seraph in the bottom. So a lot of consideration being put into the dark map that Dignitas is looking at right now.
Dignitas definitely again antsy once again. That did cost them last time around. They might even want to just give up trying to venture into that side of the map and go for Dragon as a consolation prize. But it looks like they're going to try and hold a little bit of pressure in mid. At least keep up their presence here. They will see that ward placed, and that may trigger them to go try and check. Kog'Maw is always a great boon in the vision checking around Baron. But he's fairly low on mana already.
Here we go. There we go. That's what they needed to get in. Good pink ward placement, however. And Dignitas has done a good job at clearing that out of their own jungle. So safety in numbers, Kobe. Very much so for Dig right now. See Zion Spartan still on that split push and stacking up. Remember, once it came to it, eventually Zion was too big for the other team to handle. Right now, he could be put in that position, but this Baron is what the other four are working on.
Right, what we said about decisiveness of CLG, you have to make a call, a very strong call, because Zion will get that inhibitor turret now. He's got the Trinity 4 Spirit Visage. That's what he needs to deal with Seraph and just bypass Seraph. See how much damage they can actually get, though. Chased off Baron, and Dig are rewarded.
That's what Dig needed. They said, oh, that's where Counter Logic Gaming is. We haven't seen him for 30 seconds. Showing up on the map, and they say, we have enough control in mid lane. Take it down. So they gain a bit of ground here, but Counter Logic Gaming, I feel like they know they're ahead. They're kind of waiting for Dig to make one more move that they're not ready to make.
Dignitas. Attack wards as well. That'll work. Get back some health that way.
Making it happen. The waves now moved up the double lift push before, and CLG is looking for the W.
So I'm looking for Seraph to actually buy home guards on his back right now because he has his teleport ready. He's going back to base. Could come in rocket speed. Maybe he doesn't have enough money. Looks like he's sitting there. Here comes the teleport.
He's in. No home guard on that, but they are going to have the safety. Double lift coming up from the back line to make sure they get that inhibitor turret, and now they're going to be able to work this mid-minion wave. It's almost there, and they'll be able to give Dignitas a little bit of trouble and work with those super minions. Very nice calling. Uses Relentless Pursuit to get it in the range of Shifter once more, but CLG's really, it looks like they're looking for more of a fight here than they're looking to take down the inhibitor.
Definitely a lot of poke here.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the W evolved poke from Kha'Zix. He's not just an all-in assassin nowadays, and Dexter using that to great effect, along with the threat of the Syndra stun, makes Dignitas very wary of going for this combo, especially Crumbs. It's hard for him to find that opening.
Oh, doggy. Baron just wearing off. Not as much sustain now. These guys get that HP back. A beautiful Curse of the Sad Mummy coming in. Seraph getting hit up. Again, the tanks, the big ones, taking a lot of damage, but they have enough to get down Seraph. Cannot follow. Dexter able to disengage with those spikes and slow down. But CLG trying to go a little too much. When that Baron wore off, Dignitas tried to take hold.
Look how much of the base they were able to take, though. Inhibitor and a half down here for Dignitas.
Yeah, they stayed a while. 30 seconds on Seraph to come up here. No teleport, so it looks like CLG will pretty much be sticking together for this next engage. Dig can grab anything in a completely blacked out map. It would maybe be dragging in 30 seconds, but I'm not sure they have the timer. Oh no, they do have the timer on that from the last. They should. 9-4 here. 60 to 51,000 now. Just a huge lead for CLG, and they're playing this one safe and very strategically. Not like we saw last week. They were kind of just all over the place.
And Double Lift upgrading his boots with alacrity on this back as well as picking up that Negatron cloak to deal with the Shifter chunk as we saw. But also to deal with the Amumu combo if he does land at that. As long as Double Lift does not get 100 to 0'd on an engage, CLG have a huge advantage. I like really the progression in Double Lift's build. It kind of mirrored the tanks of Dignitas. When Crumbs was building the Spectral Wraith into the Aegis, then he had 0 armor, so flat armor penetration is extremely effective. So Ghostblade, the 20 flat armor penetration cannot be overstated. It helps you rip through that Amumu. And then as soon as Crumbs picks up some armor, he finishes the last Whisper in his build.
The percentage. Definitely been working 5-0-2. His Twitch was banned out this game, but it's not stopping him from getting that duo going in the bottom. We actually saw even that Dexter was trying to do a lot for that bottom lane, and they weren't making it happen. There's a dive in on Seraph. They still get a good amount of damage there. Crumbs takes the ultimate in from Link. Shockwave as well, back to him, getting the ball moved over to Crumbs. He stays alive for just a little bit longer, and he stays alive altogether. Dignitas has yet to lose one, but Zion, Spartan, and Crumbs are limping away from this fight as they lose the inhibitor. Perseverance pays off for CLG, and they get a bit more at Dig's base.
CLG, again, completely focused on the objectives. They get what they wanted out of this. Even though Dignitas able to take down Aphromu, they lost another inhibitor and a huge wave top, able to pressure the last standing inhibitor turret. So CLG completely happy with their mid-game push here. They have control of the entire map with 10 seconds left to go for Baron number 3.
Dignitas came out this year pretty much the advocators of wards. Wards everywhere. You need wards, and this is what that plays into. Again, CLG sets up in the fog, and they try to get a pick off. Kiwi Kid very low, may not be able to tidal wave or disengage here, but Zion Spartan is still trying to be a beast for his team. They are getting really scattered here for not knowing where CLG fully is.
Dexter barely able to get away, slowed down, and not able to land the bandit shots. This is a desperate play, though. Dignitas corralling themselves in the Baron pit.
Here we go. The choose your own adventure begins. Oh, they're going to back off. 38 on the clock. CLG says, not this time. Dig does get good vision on it, and that's the first time they've really tried to make a move and get an upper hand in vision. Cleared out quick by CLG, but they're still at it.
CLG do not have to rush into this. They have plenty of time on their hands. There's an exposed inhibitor they could go after. They still have a bottom line pushing, but they're going for Baron once again. Dignitas can't check.
This is pretty intense, Kobe. Zion Spartan's not even going to be here for this fight. Teleport is up, though. They just need it in the right spot. Link
Whoa.
on the backside, ready to shut anybody down that comes in. Beautiful peel off right now. Oh, the ball delivery! The curse of the sad ball, and it goes in and definitely gets delivered nicely. Doublelift able to come up on a kill, but Cutie-Pie answers with another AD carry. Kill from the other side. They back off here. A very, very big engage. Link and Alphamu both down. It'd be risky here to keep doing this.
That's why the flash is so important on that Amumu.
Right.
Crumbs is able to get in there, hit the ultimate on more people than just the tanks. But
Oh,
the
man.
in the end have to go back and clear these Nexus turrets.
Going in very strong. Let's see if Nasus can do anything. Zion Spartan trying to get up in a play position. Oh, Doublelift very low and close to going down here. Zion Spartan, they can see this because of their ward in the brush. They're going to go ahead and take control of that area. Baron does not go down this time. CLG gets out alive, and Dig does. A few members down before that, but both teams know that is going to be the objective that is necessary. Unless CLG can just do a roundabout and give Dig the okie doke and make it to their base. I see Baron being kind of that win.
Definitely could have been a bit cleaner there. CLG did get another kill out of it, but definitely lost a bit of time.
Yeah.
CLG does not have to really be the ones feeling that like they have the pressure on their shoulders since they had the inhibitor advantage. They've got the extra man of the super minions going down bottom. Once again, though, Pink Ward in Baron Pit, trying to two-man this. They've got position, and this should be much easier for them to secure.
There we go. Aframu's in. This is going to be given up. That is the Baron. The final push probably to come in from CLG here on game 1. 3 of 3 Barons, 1 of the 4 Dragons, and they have been knowingly giving those up and really still come out ahead.
Let's see how this final push goes. The open inhibitor here should be pretty easy pickings for CLG. Interested to see if Dignitas try and make their last stand to defend it, or they wait to fight around that last inhibitor turret, because they do need all the help that they can get in these fights. Banshee's Veils are starting to go up on the front line for CLG here, and Crumbs has had a very hard time getting to the back line. So it's going to be very difficult for him. No flash this time around.
CLG getting themselves in the base here. 40 minutes into the game. Zion trying to Spirit Fire these minions out, but like we said, such little wave clear, and it adds so much damage on the inhibitor each time for CLG. Dexter helping this minion wave as well in the top, in the bottom rather, and then they'll be able to go to top if they even need to.
You can see, all that CLG have to do right now is keep up the pressure. They have the extra minion wave coming in. Top is getting shoved. The top turret's slowly going down. Middle, oh, here goes Crumbs.
Right into the middle. He gets everybody on the edge, but that's not something they can engage on. Both tanks get the command shockwave, and this is going for broke here for Counterlogic Gaming. That's the second inhibitor going down, and they're looking for Nexus turrets on this one, or the only one that is actually left. Zion Spartan goes down. Link finally picks up that kill, but look at CLG. They're not too excited to get to that win. They want to make sure it happens without them losing too many people, and with everybody up on this one. Very safe play.
This should be it. Just waiting for the minion line to come in.
There you
Nexus
go.
turret's going down.
Beautifully done. Really beautifully done by Chronologic Gaming coming into the first one. Dignitas Kiwi Kid going to go down Doublelift 10-0-4. Game 1, 16-7. 42 minutes on the clock. The first game goes to CLG.
Congratulations to CLG, game number 1, setting the tone for this best of 5.
Absolute 180 from what we saw last week in their style of play, the way they did things. CLG is definitely back to the way they were without trying to make too many changes right in the beginning. Nice early play. The Amumu pick definitely knocked on there in the early game. They stole his blue, tried to get the 3-buff start. Crumbs came back very nicely with the mid lane gank, but Doublelift